Alright, I had to pull over and stop because my head is just so busy. When I was over on the Sunshine Coast, I was calm, I was peaceful, and making movies while you're moving to different places you've never seen is so easy. It's just like, it sparks this inspiration and just clears the mind. Now that I'm back home, my head is just it pounds. It's like non-stop movement, but my head's always been non-stop movement, but this is not the movement that I like. I like movement when my mind's being creative and moving and thinking and creating and just making things in here. Because when things are in here, I can put them here. But the things in my head are DJ business stuff and just things, because I'm back in Vancouver. So I got things pulling me this way, things pulling me this way, things pulling me this way and this way. It's busy. You know, it's wedding season for me, so I have all that stuff just pulling me in other directions that I really don't want to go right now. This is the direction that I want to go. I want to go forward right here. I want to make movies. I want to make videos. So today we're going to venture down that road. I don't know where it goes. I just seen a sign that said lake, so we're heading there, hoping that I can find a peaceful moment to just stop for a minute, grab a breath, and talk. Today, we're gonna talk. Wow, look how incredible this sun looks coming through the trees. Whew. I don't know if I'm gonna keep the same song that was just playing or if I'm gonna drop another one, but damn, I gotta show you this. This is all I wanted today, was to find a place that was in semi-solitude, that I could sit down by the water, feel grounded, feel alive, and have one of those good old conversations with you guys where we just talk about whatever. Van life, you know, just a talk. The trip to the Sunshine Coast that I was on the other week was a real eye-opener for me. That's the first time I've traveled anywhere in my life, let alone being in the van. That's the first time I've been somewhere away from here where I've had the chance to actually let go. You know, when you chase a vacation, when you're working the 9-to-5 grind, the vacation is never really what you wanted it to be, because you don't really feel relaxed until the very last day when you have to go home, because you got to go back to the 9-to-5 grind. Well, I think my life after 8 months has finally hit that point where it's slowed down, and all of the stress from that previous life I was living, that ruckus that was just like that robot I used to be for somebody else. My life has finally hit a point where it's got a chance to breathe. I feel alive today. I feel real today. And it's taken pretty much 7 months to ditch that feeling. Crazy. And because I'm feeling calm and a lot more connected to who I am, it's like other senses I had and other things that I never seen when I walked down a path in my life are starting to be very visible. And I noticed that when I was on that little trip, just the tiny little things like listening to the birds. I never did that before. I was a city boy that was just in a ruckus. I'm all about big buildings, flashing lights, loud music, and nightclubs, and just crazy stuff. And I've been out in wild before. I've been on nature walks. I've been by the lake, by the river. But my senses were so clogged up from just like the stress of life and knowing I got to go back to work tomorrow and it's going to be another 5 days of craziness. Now that I'm unplugged from everything, life feels so peaceful. I found myself the other day walking and I looked over and I seen this cluster of flowers. They were huge on some kind of a bush growing up a fence, and I was like, oh, wow. I walked over and I literally just ran my hand down the leaf, you know, feeling the texture of it, you know, experiencing how beautiful all the little veins that were running through it, all the different colors, and seeing all the little things that there's like a little bud in the middle, and there's like these little things wrapped around them with little balls in the end. I should have taken a picture of it, but I didn't. I was just in awe of this freaking flower. That's not me. That's not the person that I've been my whole life. So having these senses like alive in me are crazy insane. They're awesome, and they're just, it feels like I'm taking those moments out of my day to just enjoy what life really is. I'm not the same person today that I was when I had my 9-to-5 job. There's a lot of aspects of me that'll never change, that will always be me, but this calm person is not who I used to be. I was angry, I was grumpy, I was mad, I complained about my job all the time. I felt like I was trapped and stuck in what society said my life had to be. I had to have a job, I had to have a condo and a car and all this other stuff that brought me zero happiness. Working that crazy job in the chemical business that I was in, working with like just fumes and just dangerous powders and silly things that just was toxic to me, but the work environment was toxic in here and toxic to my whole world. And breaking free from what was making me unhappy was extremely freeing. It's like that chain that was holding me back, it's like somebody cut it, and I literally broke free for that moment, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? I didn't know where to go. It's like I finally got this freedom. I finally got that freedom to just run for once, feeling that I wasn't trapped anymore, and I didn't know where to go, and I was like, I stopped. As soon as I got released from it, I quit. It was like a freeing moment, but also that moment where I didn't know what direction to run, because I was allowed to run for the first time in freaking 10 years, but I didn't know where to go. It didn't take me long to realize that I just cut myself free from everything that was holding me back from being alive. And from that point on, all my life that I've been living for the last year has been the best year of my entire life. We're talking like 42 years of not living, and finally on my 43rd year, I've had the opportunity to live my life for the first time. I've been in the van for over 8 months, and it's taken me 7 months to finally calm down and slow down. Things in my mind will always run fast. That creative side of me, just like, it'll never stop moving, because that's what my mind is like. It jumps and skips and just like, it's fast. But creatively, that speed and that fastness, that ruckus when it comes to just how my mind functions during the day on a creative side is very soothing to me. You know, that like my leg constantly bounces. I never stop moving. I'm not kidding. Something on me always has this vibration to it, but that vibration in me brings me calmness. And now that I have found this and found freedom, I shouldn't say found freedom, now that I've taken over that freedom in my life and taken over that part of my life and started to live, this kind of stuff brings peace and calmness to a part of my mind that used to be full of stress. The stress in my previous life, and yes, we're gonna call it my previous life, killed me as a person. It killed me creatively. And because even when I went home from the 9-to-5 grind, I went home from the bills that the life that I was living had, because you had rent, you had all those other little bills that go involved with like being at home, paying for parking and your long commutes and your stressful drives and dealing with all the stressful people that were in the same shit life that you were living. Dealing with all of that, by the time you got home, it took time and a lot of tequila to calm that part of my mind. But now that all that stuff is gone, I drink less. I have no stress at all. And if I do have stress, it's positive stress that I've created for myself by YouTube or things that just inspire me to create something. I'm creating positive stresses that make me drive forward. You know, there's good stress and there's bad stress. And yes, you always need a balance of both to keep your life kind of like real. But, you know, I was over here, I don't know which way you guys are watching this video. So we'll say, here's the needle over here. You guys are probably watching it this way, so I'll do it the real way. So this is my max. This is the life I lived in stress before I started van life. And no, it never bounced back to here in the middle ever. It was always right here the whole freaking time. I hated my life. Now my stress is like right here. It's nothing. And I can't go any farther. But you get it. I have zero to very minimal stress. Truth be told, I got no stress. I just try to be realistic about it. I don't feel anything stressful at all. None. But I worked for that. I gave up things for that. You know, I challenged my life to get that. I gave up things in my world to have that. I gave up things that I thought life had to have a life with no stress in it. And if you're gonna talk about stress for the creative side, it's at the top, man, where it should be. It kind of bounces between the middle and then the top. But good stress is mandatory to have. If you don't have anything that drives you forward, you're not living. Anyway, I'm rambling in a major way. All I really want to say is that giving up everything that I gave up in my world has given me this, has given me today. I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have a timeline or a schedule. I don't gotta be back in the city for anything. I'm here. I'm sitting in this moment right now because I gave up my whole life for this. And I know some people are gonna say, well, money and all those other kind of things, you know, things just kind of work themselves out. You just gotta drive forward to what you want. When I gave up working for somebody else, I pretty much gave up devoting my life to somebody else's business, future, money, and life. I gave up my world for that. And now that I've cut that out and focused everything I could on my DJing, and then out of nowhere popped this YouTube thing, which is my new love, I got two things in this world that my passion is directed at. The first thing is me. Period, end of story. Everything I wake up and do every day is me, 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 and me. That's creating videos, and that's my hugest passion. And that's it. DJing supplies me with the money I need to kind of function and get through my days, pay my debt, pay my bills. And I'm hoping in time to turn this YouTube into what DJing used to be for me. I would rather wake up every day and create mini movies for you. That's my goal, you know, and hopefully in time, maybe direct that into doing some corporate stuff. But for right now, it's me and you. This is what I want to do. I want to travel and make movies. But for now, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna do what I love. I'm gonna DJ, I'm gonna make some money, I'm gonna make videos, I'm gonna talk to you. But if you look at it, I gave up my old life working for somebody else to work for me. And I'm telling you guys, there's always something you can do in this world, being you, that you can make money at. So find that passion and go do it. You know, it could be anything. Maybe working for somebody else is what works for you. Like somebody who's just a nurse that just wants to help people. I get that part. I get it. That's your passion. That's your thing. I get it. But if you're working any other job that's making somebody else successful and not you inside, you're failing at life. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but that's a failure. If you wake up every day and do something for somebody else to make their world better, you're failing yourself. So, you know what? Wake up. Literally, guys, wake up tomorrow morning, guide through your day today, so be it. Today's today, you know. Tomorrow morning, wake up fresh and live it for you and you only. Don't waste a single day of your life for somebody else. Man, I tell you guys this all the time, but I'm sitting actually, in a moment right now that I created for me. And because I created this moment, this freedom, this life with no time schedule, this is peace. This is true freedom. You know, this is what everybody runs away and seeks when they leave the 9-to-5 grind, when they get that chance to get the 2-week vacation. This is what they chase. But because I stood up and took it all over for myself, I'm not chasing this. This is just my life.